ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Hital.
I'm Anuja, and today we're going to be making Seekh Kebabs. Now Seekh Kebabs are authentically made in a tandoor, but since we don't have one, we'll show you another way of making it so you don't have to go out and buy one and still enjoy the Seekh Kebabs. And here's what you need.
1 1/4 pounds of ground lamb, chicken, or beef, 1 cup of fried onions, about 20 sprigs of cilantro, finely chopped, green chilies, finely chopped to taste, 2 tablespoons of ginger garlic paste, 1 teaspoon each of garam masala and dried mango powder, salt to taste, ½ teaspoon whole black peppercorns, 2 tablespoons of whole coriander seed, 3 whole dried red chilies or to taste, half of an egg beaten, breadcrumbs if needed for binding, oil for pan frying. So for our Seekh Kebabs, the first step is to make a fresh masala for this, and we have a medium-sized steel pan here, and we're going to turn the flame to medium heat, and we're going to dry roast a couple of our spices. So first we have whole coriander seed, and we have a few dried red chilies, and we can also break these. And finally we have whole peppercorns. And I'm going to keep stirring this. It's important to keep stirring so that it doesn't burn on the bottom and undercooked on top.
And over here we have washed our ground meat of your choice, and it's ground or minced, different flour parts, it's called different things, and we've really drained it very well, but it still has a little bit of moisture, and for any kebabs moisture is not a good idea. So what we have is, we have a paper towel over here. I am going to just blot all the moisture out of it.
So I don't know about you, but I'm getting this really nice roasted aroma, and that tells us we need to switch off the stove and remove this from this hot pan. We don't want it to cook any further. So while these spices are cooling down, it's important to let them cool down before we grind them so that the moisture doesn't make the spice clump. We can start working on the rest of our process.
Over here we have the fried onions. Now you can use fresh onions and just fry them and it'll take you to the same place, or you can just buy the store-bought ones. And sometimes we try to take shortcuts, so this is a great time saver.
It takes a lot of time to fry onions, if anybody's done that before.
Yes,
so.
and especially the perfect crispiness.
Yeah.
And in go the cilantro, green chilies to taste, ginger garlic paste. This is garam masala, and since we don't want to add in any more moisture into this, we're going to use amchur, which will give the tartness. And of course the salt, and we're going to go ahead and mix it up. Right, the spices have cooled down. It's a coffee grinder actually, but it works very well for the dry spices that a lot of times we need to grind. And the advantage about this particular one is that it comes off, so you can do wet grinding and dry grinding. So a lot of the coffee grinders somehow are attached, so then it's a little harder. And
then you'd have to have 2 grinders because you cannot use the coffee grinder that you ground coffee in for spices, or vice versa, because the flavors and the smell is so strong for both of the things.
Yeah, this one is just for spices. Nobody uses it for coffee.
So it's ground into a nice fine powder. It smells wonderful. Oh my. But it smells good?
Yeah. So it's formed into a fine powder, and it looks wonderful and it smells great. Yep.
The fresh spices, when you roast fresh spices and grind them, and nothing can beat that.
That is so true. And this goes into the meat mixture. Now if you find this is too much, you can hold some back and use it for something else later on. And I'm going to mix this really well.
Now this is raw meat, so all the spices and the salt and everything that we put in here, it's a guess really. So if you want to find out if it's enough, if you have enough spices, enough salt, then a good way to do that is to take just a small portion and go ahead and cook it on the stove, on your skillet, and taste it, and then see if you need anything else, because you cannot taste raw meat.
What we're going to do is we're going to just cover it and leave it in the refrigerator for an hour and let it just marinate, let the spices just mix in with the meat, and then we'll come back and do the balance of it. Alright, it's been an hour. If you can actually leave it a little longer, it's even better. And just going to give it another good mix. And we've got half an egg beaten up. Cruel girl, I tell you. And we're going to add it to this. And mix it again. Now I like to take the egg, beat it up, and then put it in there, and then mix it here, because sometimes you don't have control over the egg and the whole thing falls in.
And if that happens, if for some reason that happens, or if your meat didn't drain enough and a lot of the moisture is still in there, you can also put in breadcrumbs, and what this will do is absorb a lot of that moisture and still let you form your kebabs, and they won't fall apart. So it's an option, but ours is looking pretty good right now, so we're not going to need this.
Alright, let's get the skillet going. Okay. Alright, this is marinated. The skillet is on medium heat.
It's nice and hot. Now we're going to drizzle a little bit of oil.
Yep, very little. And you can just take a little bit of meat in your hand and just make a... Seekh Kebabs are usually made lengthwise. They're a little on the longer side. So you can do this. And I would suggest you flatten them out, that way they get cooked a little faster. So, there you go. And we're going to put it on that skillet. If you make them thinner, they just cook a little faster through the center. And here's a trick that we learned from Sanjay Tuma.
Vasha, better known as Vasha.
Yes, we've actually been lucky enough, and he's a wonderful person and a fabulous chef, so a lot of us know. So here's a back end of a spatula or a spoon, and you just take your meat and you just wrap it around that. And you just slide it out and just put it on down.
Pretty clever.
Yep.
And once the bottom is brown, I can go ahead and flip them around.
Now we've done this on the stove because this is something that's, when you make it fresh, you have it fresh. And the stove is just faster, even if you have to do 5-6 pieces. And you can keep this in the batter in the refrigerator, the mixture in the refrigerator. And whenever you want, you just take out a little bit and make it. It's just easier. But it is also, if you're making it in a big batch, for a party or something, you can also do it in the oven. You put it on your oven setting on high broil, and you make either one of those two shapes. And put them on a foil and put them in the oven on broil close to the top, and cook them for about 5 to 7 minutes on each side. And you have to keep an eye on it because it's very close to the top and it tends to burn, but it's really fast. It's not, especially if you're doing it in a big batch, that's just an easier way of doing it than this.
And when it's nice and golden on both sides, you can remove it from the heat and serve them hot.
The kebabs are ready. You just drizzle some lemon juice and have them with mint chutney, and they're ready to eat.
So join us again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice to your life.